Hello everyone, welcome to the next lecture video on the software concept. The lecture number 5 will be exploring the functionalities of the operating system. So here, an operating system is an interface that we have spoken in the last class, which acts like an intermediator between the user and the computer system. So operating system functionality includes managing every task or everything which is connected to the computer. So it may be involving the following things: monitoring, keyboard monitoring, printing, mouse device connected or peripheral device connected, disk drivers or other application software which are running onto the operating system all falls under the uses of the operating system or functionalities of the operating system. So operating system is basically a set of program modules which acts as a resource manager and provides an interface between the user program and the computer resources. So how it is acting like? It's acting like a resource manager, okay, which provides the interface between two things. The one is the user, the another is the computer resources. The resources may be the CPU resources, that is processing cycle, or device management attached from the outside or inside, memory management which involves primary memory and the secondary memory, etc. So all this management is been done by the operating system. So as you can see in the diagram, memory management, input output management, file management, command and interpreter management, security management, resource management, all falls under the operations or the functions of the operating system. So operating system has to do all this following job to make it fit for the computer. So in the course we will be talking about the functionalities the operating system which is been implementing is the memory management, the processor management, the device management and the information management, how it does all these things. Now the first thing is memory. When we talk about memory, we think about our memory, how long we can keep. Now you see certain things which are very important, we will try to rememberize it or by heart it. On certain things we know usually will do in day-to-day life, we remember it and we know where and how the things has to be done. For example, nobody need to teach you how to brush, okay, you remember it, it's been in your day-to-day life, it has been actively stored into your brain. So the active and inactive parts which are in the brain, but the computer cannot do that. Everything is important for the computer to be processed or to be stored. So the memory management is main concerned with the something called as allocation of physical memory. Now what do you mean by the word allocation? The mean allocation is nothing but giving the space, allocating the memory space or providing the memory space. So whenever you are performing certain operation, this operation needs certain memory area where it has to get stored. Like when some special event happen in your life, you will have the memory in your brain. Similarly, when you watch a series or a movie, you will have all the sequences of the movie in your brain. So that is called as the brain has allocated some of the memory for the visual and audio and written format. So that is called as allocation of memory. So here the main concept of the operating system is allocating of physical memory. Whoever asks for it, whoever questions the memory, I want the memory for the storing certain data. So all this questioned memory will be given to the required process, whoever asks for it, and the execution process will take place. That is, we will call allocation of physical memory to the question processes. Process is nothing but a program in action. Okay, when it has been loaded into the memory, it will be starting its job. We will call it as it is processing instead of it is running. Okay, both are same. So the memory management keeps following things intact, that is keeps the track of the memory status, how much memory has been utilized. Now when you open up your mobile phone, you will see in the file manager, you go and see photos, this many photos, this many audio files, this many WhatsApp images and all that. It will show you the memory free and memory utilized also. So that is the keeping the track of the memory status. And it also performs allocation, that is providing the memory space, giving up the memory space. Okay, that is the meaning of the allocation. Deallocation is nothing but, the spelling is wrong over here, the deallocation in the sense, the deallocation is removing or freeing up the memory space. Okay, after it has been given for the process and it has been completed its execution or it has done with its job, then it has to be freed up for the other process to occupy. So that is called as the deallocation. So deallocation is nothing but removing or freeing of the memory space which is not being utilized. Okay, so that is one of the management area. The next thing is the processor management. Okay, see the diagram. So everything is having some specific job over here. Everybody is managing. So if one fails, the entire process what is taking place over here will fail. Okay, so everybody has certain job. One is the person who is putting the strawberries on the cake, the another is doing the parcel, the another one is baking, okay, the another one is the cutting, and another one is putting the cream on the cakes. So all these are the process that is going in sequence in some order. So process management is concerned with assigning of process to the process. So here this person what you see, the baker or the decorator or the seller, is nothing like a process. Okay, so every processor, this is a processor, has certain process to do, putting a strawberry, baking the cake. So they are being scheduled for certain time. Okay, you cannot put the strawberry on the plate instead of the cake. So everything is been scheduled over here. So that is the work of the operating system, managing all the scheduled process which should go on time. It should not be delayed. Okay, the execution of instructions should not be delayed. That's the work of the processor management. Okay, it's going to assign the process to the process, that is scheduling the process. The next function of the operating system is the device management. The device management is basically concerned with the hardware components which are attached to the computer. It involves allocating, giving the memory space for the devices to communicate with the other devices or to communicate with the operating system or to the CPU. Deallocating or deallocates the memory space, freeing of the memory space, okay, which is not been utilized. Okay, so it involves providing a memory space for the user, for the application programs, for the hardware, okay, that is hard drives, printers, keyboards, mouse, monitor. All this is concerned with device management. So the operating system should know what devices are connected to the system so that it can communicate and take the information or give the output to the required person. The next very important thing is information management. Information is very much concerned when the process data is given as a form of meaningful data. So the work of the computer, the computer is an electronic device which accepts the data, processes the data and gives us the output or the result. And this generating the output is the main task, or processing of the data is the main task of the operating system. All this is nothing but the management which involves the information system. So information management or file management, we can also call it as, is the responsibility or managing of the files that are stored into the computer. It can be stored into the secondary storage devices or the primary storage devices. Basically the files which are stored permanently are stored under the secondary storage device. The temporary area will be available in the primary memory. So the main functions of the information management involves managing of the secondary storage device, that is hard disk, floppy disk, okay, CDs, DVDs, providing privileges, that is, who can access what amount of data, that is called as the authentication. We will talk about the authentication later on, and the flexibility of access, okay, what amount of data can be accessible or traveled freely from one user to the another user or from one file to the another file. That is when flexibility of the access. Loading of information. Once the program starts its execution, the source code what is stored under the hard disk should be brought into the primary memory. That's the main job of the loader that will take place. Linkers and loaders will help us in this process of execution. So loading of the information that takes place from the secondary memory to the primary memory is of very much important for the execution cycle. Next we have is the deallocation. Deallocation is nothing but freeing up the memory space, as we have told so many times. So the memory which has been allocated has to be deallocated or freed up for the other processes to be occupied. Next, and the very most important subtopic we have is the types of operating system. So the different types of operating system that we have are single user operating system. One user is performing a job, okay, and one task is been only done. We will have the categories of this also. Batch operating system, type of multi-programming operating system, which has certain categories again. Multi-programming operating system involves multitasking, multi-user, time sharing and real-time systems. Okay, so all these are involved under the multi-programming operating system. The next we have is the distributive operating system or distributed operating system. Network operating system, which is used for networked computer. We'll talk about network also. Multi-threading models, okay, many tasks are being executed simultaneously. That is called as the multi-threading operating system. Okay, let us jump into the types of operating system and see what does the single user operating system stands for. The single user operating system are mainly configured for the use of desktop or personal computers, you can say. So PCs are the personal computers and the laptops are configured with the single user operating system. The most popular type of single user operating systems were DOS, disk operating system, it stands for disk operating system, and Windows 95, Windows 98, Apple Macintosh operating system, etc. are all under the examples of the single user operating system. So this will allow only one user to share the system resources, which including the CPU also. But depending upon the type of job they are going to perform, a single user operating system has single user, single tasking, single user, multitasking, that we will be seeing what it is. So the first kind of under the single user operating system is a single user, single task. These are basically designed to manage the computers so that one user can efficiently do one thing at a time, not the multiple things at a time. Example, the Palm OS, which was used for Palm or handheld computers. This is an example of the Palm device, okay, which is just like a computer, a small computer which can be carried in your pocket, which will be fitting into your palm. So we'll call it as Palm handheld computer. So these computers could perform all the operations that a computer could perform with a minimized thing. Okay. So this is called as one user and one task can be performed. Now just like you have a mobile phone where you can listen to music, where you can browse or where you can record certain things simultaneously or at a time, that is called as single user multitasking. But the Palm Handheld computers were used by a single person and it could do only one operation at a time or one task at a time. That is called as single user, single tasking. The next classification under that single user operating system is designed with only single user in mind, but it could now perform the multiple tasks. Okay, so it is single user multitasking, designed with a single user in mind, but it can deal with many applications simultaneously running at the same time. That is called as multitasking. Now you have the access to this image, or which you can see here. The picture is also open, the text conversation is also been done, the files are been copied, the web browsers are been opened. So all these tasks are running at the same time. Okay, so this is called as the single user multitasking operating system. So the type of operating system most of the people uses on their desktop and the laptops today is the single user multitasking operating system. The next type of operating system we have is the batch operating system. The word batch is nothing but a list of a number of jobs. So one or more programs, okay, which can together with any data needed. So one or more programs that are submitted to the computer as a job and put in a queue. Queue is nothing but a line. Okay, when you go for railway reservation, you will stand in a queue. When you come for certain programs, when your entry pass has been checked, you will stand in a queue. When you stand in a bus stop to board the bus, you will stand in a queue. Okay, to await the processing. It has been awaited for the processing or the execution, that is changing from data to the information. So here one or more programs are submitted to the computer as a job, not as a process. These jobs are waiting in the queue to be processed. Okay, so let us consider in a day you will be having 24 hours where the computer which is having batch operating system will be divided into 12 hours and 12 hours. That means 12 hours in the morning you can only submit the jobs which will be put in a queue, and after the 12 hours you cannot submit any jobs because all those jobs which are submitted in the morning 12 hours will be processed in the night 12 hours. That is called as the use of the batch operating system. When it is submission time, all will be submitting. When it is processing time, nobody is been allowed to submit it. It's just like you are applying for any CET or any competitive exam. When the last date has been finished, nobody is allowed to submit the application. Okay. Then we have, there is no interaction. The second point is there is no interaction between the user and the computer. You need to submit your process or a program as a job. It will be kept in the queue, it will be processed and it will be taken. It will not show you any result. Okay. It will not give you any error statement if errors are generated. Processing can be done at off-peak time. That means I have told you an example, 12 hours and 12 hours. Morning 12 hours will be peak time where the users will be giving the job. Off-peak time is night 12 hours where the process are being done, such as overnight where there is no interaction needed or there is no buttons are being clicked or no interaction is being done to the operating system, then the jobs will be processed. So such kind of operating system are called as the batch operating system. So here we have the very wonderful example, a payroll running for a company. Payroll is nothing but the salaries that are given. The salaries for the employees are given based on different criteria. How many days he has come, how many hours he has worked, whether he has certain allowances like petrol allowance, other allowances like entertainment allowance, okay, dearness allowance, all those allowances are added. Now if there is something to be deducted like loan amount or provident fund amount, that will be deducted. So entire slip which is depicting, which is showing you how many days you have worked, what salary you have gained, what additions are done, what deductions are done, is called as a payroll management. Payroll is nothing but a slip given to the employees of a company. So all the 30 days it will take the data and at one time it will process. Okay, just like a biometric system which takes the data at the end of the month when salary day will come, it will process and it will generate how much amount of salary you need to get. Gas and electricity bill, gas bills we don't have any ideas, okay, because we don't have gas connections to our home, but we will get the gas cylinders, that is different. Let us talk about electricity bill. The electricity bill, the user will use the electricity at the end of the month. Who will come? The KV person will come, he will take your reading and put the bill and go. So it is what? Daily you are using, that means daily number of units what you are utilizing, what you are consuming is nothing but a type of job which has been submitted to your meter. Okay, meter reading will be taken and it will be producing the result as a batch processing system. So the next class we'll have the look on other operating system, but before that we have the advantages and disadvantages. Advantages we have seen. The main disadvantage of the batch operating system are non-interactivity. You cannot interact with the program of execution and it is debugged offline, no online debugging. Okay, so multi-programming operating system we will be seeing in the next class. Thank you.